Now, in UX and product and, customer and marketing and everything in between, a lot of people got drunk on this notion that empathy is the answer. That if you empathize with your users or your colleagues, you're gonna arrive at like the best solutions ever and life is gonna be all flowers. Just do this and everything is gonna sort itself out. Empathy is natural to every human being. A lot of people have certain levels of it or demonstrate certain levels of it. A lot of people could do more of it, especially when it comes to empathizing with the users or who do you deliver the value to so that it results in best outcomes. I definitely agree with that. On the other spectrum, you have the objectivity. Like you want to highly empathize for individual people, individual needs. Then you're going to be super subjective. You're going to be having this isolated view of, okay, this is a person, they do this day to day, this is the challenges they face, this is what they feel, this is the why, this is behavior, attitudinal aspects, let's say in research. You're gonna understand it almost like in an isolated view. But what's missing here? This is all good if you design just for one person or for one tiny bit of sample of the users. What's missing is the objectivity, the opposite side of the spectrum, which states that you should be focusing on like being as low empathy as possible, non-individual needs, almost like addressing what's most viable, what pays a lot, what makes sense to do because it's logical. A lot of businesses are gonna run with the objective. A lot of UX designers are gonna start with a subjective. Reality is you need to have a good balance between both of them in anything you do, because otherwise you're not gonna have enough focus and drive to actually make impact, or you're gonna change lives one person at a time. Maybe that's what you wanna do. Maybe you just wanna create experiences for selected individuals, but then it's not really gonna cover the cost of UX if you just do that. Another side to this, and of course a lot of people might not agree, but I like Don Norman just a couple of years ago noted about this. He basically bashed the empathetic design. He bashed that notion that empathy is all you need to produce a good design or good solutions. We can pretend and do this UX theater that we empathize with our users and we truly understand their needs, or we can actually go ahead and do it. A lot of innovation teams in, let's say, consultancies and design teams, they apply these high-level frameworks, ideate, they kind of reflect on themselves and think that this is empathy. Or they hear something or read insights on an article or in a study and they think, oh, I know this. I'm empathetic of that person's challenge, and so I can design them something. In reality, you are not empathetic enough because you still don't know. It's almost like by proxy. What Don Norman, and I'm paraphrasing of course, he might disagree with how I interpret this. Design researchers, anthropologists, people of all sorts in technology should approach it super deeply, observing day-to-days, running ethnographic research, participating in the challenges the actual people face, to then employ empathy. Then you're gonna be able to actually reflect and say, okay, I understand enough to help them out, instead of by proxy in a workshop kind of like speculating and being like throwing these random motions and pain points which nobody has but you, perceivably so because someone told you so, or you just read somewhere online that it is like that. That's why empathetic design sucks, because it's not what we need. It's a good title, a good label, a good start, but if someone takes it and bastardizes it and applies it to random notions, it doesn't lead us anywhere. You need to be able to actually go deep enough and engage and do the hard work and actually observe things and report them back, facilitate and action it, not just facilitate and action random ideas and be that UX brutalist who just basically comes up with an idea, implements it and see what happens. Empathy is not that. Empathy is not just that you think you understand someone. Empathy is actually having enough skin in the game. And that can only be achieved if you actually go the extra mile and go there. Be with that person, observe them, super shadow them. And when I say super shadow, means be part of that specific culture. You need to embed yourself. That's why ethnographic research in UX and human-centered design is so important and so powerful, because you then actually are able to understand what people deal with instead of doing so by proxy. Find the medium between the two. Find where you can actually deeply empathize between the things, but also being very, very cognizant of the viability, the feasibility, what's pragmatic, what's practical, what you can actually achieve right now. So what you empathize with that person, let's say, let's bin that empathetic design, let's just say empathy. What you actually emphasize with that person, you can actually action and provide the meaningful experience in whatever capacity you can.